Hello and welcome. All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle a feeling that I know so many of you have faced. It's that moment where your brain just feels slow when you need to speak English. Well, we're going to change that. We're going to turn that hesitation into real fluency.
Has this ever happened to you? Someone asks you a really simple question like, "How was your weekend?" And you totally know the answer in your own language, but in English, your mind just goes completely blank. You're searching for the words, and that awkward pause just gets longer and longer. It is so frustrating, but believe me, you are not alone, and we're going to fix it starting right now.
Okay, now I want you to imagine a different scenario. Same question comes your way, but this time the answer just flows. It comes out smooth, confident. You're smiling. The conversation just keeps moving because you sound so natural and totally at ease. That feeling? That's our goal today.
So where do we start? We have to start with the biggest roadblock there is. Seriously, the number one reason your speech feels slow is because your brain is doing way too much work. You're translating everything in your head, and it's the single biggest barrier to sounding fluent.
Okay, just look at this because it lays out the problem perfectly. On the left, that's the slow path. You hear English, you translate it to your language, you think of the answer, you translate the answer back into English, and then you finally speak. That's 5 steps. Now look at the right. The fast path is just 2. You hear English, you understand it, and you speak. It's so obvious what we need to do, right? We have got to cut out those middle steps.
And the way we do that is by building something called a direct connection. So when I say the word apple, I want your brain to picture the actual red, crunchy fruit. I don't want it to find the word for apple in your native language first. See the difference? We're training the brain to link English words directly to images, ideas, and feelings.
Okay, so how do we start building those direct connections? Well, you have to surround yourself with English. You have to immerse yourself in it. And no, you don't have to pack up and move to another country. You can create your very own English world right where you are. Think of it like your fluency superpower. And look at how easy it is to start. Seriously, you can do this today. Change the language on your phone. Done. Walk around your house and just name things out loud. Table, door, cup. Talk to yourself. Narrate what you're doing. I am making tea now. It might feel a little silly at first, but trust me, it works. And fill your downtime with English sounds, music, podcasts, whatever you actually enjoy listening to. These are small habits, but they have huge results. All right, let's tackle a big source of anxiety for a lot of people. Answering questions on the spot. You know, when someone asks you something unexpectedly, the pressure is on to say something back, and fast. So let's learn a super simple technique to make this feel way more natural and easy.
Here is the secret weapon. Stop trying to give a perfect, long, detailed answer right away. Just don't. Instead, start with a short, simple, direct response. This does 2 things. It gets the words flowing immediately, and it takes all that pressure off. It gives your brain a second to breathe and find more details if you feel like adding them. Let's look at how this actually works. Someone asks, "What do you do?" Instead of panicking and trying to explain your entire job title, just say, "I'm a student." See? So easy. Then, if you want, you can add, "I study computer science." Short answer first, then the extra detail. This is a total game changer, I promise you. Okay, so now that we have a strategy, it's time to build that muscle memory. This next part is all about training your brain to react almost like a reflex. And to do that, we have to flip our priorities. We need to focus on speed before perfection. Forget about perfect grammar for a minute. Right now, we are just training for speed.
Here's a really powerful and kind of fun exercise you can do. Find any interview on YouTube. The second the interviewer asks a question, hit pause, and then you answer it out loud, instantly. Don't think about it. Don't try to make it a great answer. Just respond with the first thing that comes to mind. This is how you train your brain for the speed of a real conversation.
And here are a few more pro tips to keep in your back pocket. First, it's okay to use filler phrases like, that's a good question. It buys your brain a crucial second or two. Next, move your body. Using your hands when you talk actually helps your brain find the words it's looking for. And finally, this one is huge. You have to change your mindset. A mistake isn't a failure. It's just a training point. That's all it is. Remember, the goal is to communicate your message, not to be perfect. So let's talk about the biggest speed bump of them all, getting nervous. I mean, you can know all the vocabulary in the world, but if your brain freezes up because of anxiety, none of that matters. So the question is, how do we stay calm when the pressure's on? Think of this as your anti-anxiety toolkit. First, and this is so important, before you speak, just take 1 or 2 deep, slow breaths. It's a physical signal to your brain that says, hey, we're okay. Next, use short, simple sentences. When you're stressed, simple is always better. Also, give yourself a quick little pep talk inside your head. Focus your attention outward on the person you're talking to, not inward on your own fear. And finally, stand up tall. Seriously, a confident posture can actually trick your brain into feeling more confident.
You know, the most important thing to remember in all of this is that thinking fast in English isn't some destination you just arrive at one day. It's a skill that you have to maintain, kind of like fitness. So to keep getting faster and better, you have to build simple, consistent, daily habits that keep your brain in training mode. Let this sink in. Trying to cram all your practice into one long session once a week just isn't going to build the kind of automatic fluency you want. It's the small, daily touch points with English that actually rewire your brain for speed. Consistency really is everything. And this is what that consistency can look like. It's not overwhelming, right? 5 minutes in the morning, listening to a podcast. 2 minutes in the afternoon, just talking to yourself. 5 minutes at night, writing down a few sentences about your day. It all adds up. And always try to push yourself just a little to talk about new things. And please don't forget to celebrate your progress. Noticing those small wins is the fuel that will keep you going.
So, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. Learning about these strategies is great, but doing them is what creates change. So I want you to look at everything we've talked about, and I want you to answer this question. Maybe even say it out loud right now. What is the very first simple step you are going to take today